Hey everybody, Preparedness 1 here. It is still Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, and I decided to come back on here and do a second video. Wasn't sure if I was going to, but I decided to go ahead and do this video, second video. So the topic of the video is the power grid reliable, okay? And is it important to have solar is either a backup or your primary source of power? So we're going to talk about that in a second. I wanted to address something really quickly first before I get into the topic, okay? So, and somebody made a comment, and I did not take it in as an attacking comment in any way, shape, or form, but I did want to address it. So somebody said, not being critical, but you're a trial and error solar system person, okay? And you should go to this person or this person and this person if you want to really learn how to do solar, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. All right. I have never once, ever got on here and said, I am an expert in solar and listen to exactly what I say and do exactly as I do. I have never done that, okay? Not one time ever. I'm fighting mosquitoes while we're doing this, guys. It's that time of night. So I've never done that, okay? Now, trial and error. How important is trial and error? You have your solar system components together. You got them set aside. You're ready. SHTF happens. You're going to set your stuff up and you're going to run it then, right? But you have no practical experience with it, all right? Trial and error. You need trial and error. You need to learn what works. You need to learn what does not work with a solar system. You work out the bugs now while it is not a life and death situation, because when it gets to that point where it is a life and death situation and you need that power for whatever the case may be, run your well, whatever the case may be, right? Then you're screwed, okay, if you don't know what you're doing. So I think it's really important to learn as you go, figure out what works, what doesn't work, okay? We're adjusting our system, we're figuring things out, we've changed things. Now, if I was still on the lead acid batteries, everything would be fine. If I had just went and bought more lead acid batteries, I would have been good to go, right? But I wanted to try to upgrade my batteries to get something that's going to be more efficient and work better. So that's where the trial and error comes in. So again, I did not take it as an attack, and I don't believe that the person meant it as an attack, and that's fine. And I think I got a smudge on here, so hold on. So anyway, that being said, how effective is our system, our power system, on-grid system? Is it effective? Is it not effective? And is it smart to have some kind of either backup or your main source of power be from, your own solar system? Our power grid is very, very antiquated, very antiquated. It needs a complete overhaul, and they know that, okay? It is not hardened against attack. They know that as well. Some places are, of course, military installations. I'm sure some of them are hardened. Some of them are probably not. Okay? The whole system needs to be revised, needs to be redone. You're talking trillions of dollars, not billions, but trillions of dollars to get the system to where the way that it should be, to protect the whole system. It's not going to happen. Unless the government is starting to give out free money like they continue to do, but they're not giving it to the power system, power companies and the power grid. They're not going to do it, okay? You have continuous power outages all over the countries all the time because of storms, because, somebody hits a telephone pole and knocks out a transformer, whatever the case may be. Oh, okay, our system is also vulnerable to, excuse me, vulnerable to attack. I think I might have gotten a bug. I didn't feel it, but I think I may have gotten a bug. A little protein. I'll tell you a story about something that happened. You may know about this, you may not. Several years ago, in California, there was, if you if you're driving around sometimes, you will see what they call a substation. And a substation is a fenced-in area in the middle of nowhere where they have, transformers and all kinds of stuff in there, running the grid, running the power grid, okay? There's nobody sits in there and is there 24 hours a day. There's nobody babysits that. It's just basically on your honor that you don't go in there and screw around, because if you do, there's a chance you could be electrocuted and killed, right? Well, in California, there was an individual that spent 20 minutes shooting up a substation, shooting transformers, and all those type of things. Oh, by the way, they were never caught, okay? That's number one. Now, that could have been a test. What had happened was, because it was just that one substation, they were able to reroute the power, and nobody ended up being out of power, okay? It might have been down for a short time, but they were able to reroute the power, and they were able to stay online. A coordinated attack in this country against our power grid is absolutely a real 100% possibility, okay? Absolutely can happen. Won't surprise me if it doesn't happen at some point, all right? We are very reliant on the power grid, the system. So that is our weakness. Our enemies know that that is our weakness. So do you not think that they will exploit that weakness at some point? Could that thing that happened in California just been a test run to see if it was possible to do? Again, to be able to be unmolested for 20 minutes while you're shooting up a substation, never get caught, and and that just continues to go on. A really true coordinated attack, you could take out a lot of power, and then it's going to take time to replace those components that have been destroyed too. On top of that, that needs to be taken into consideration as well. Okay, so having some kind of off-grid system or having a backup system with your solar is a very, very smart thing to do. Not grid-tied, off-grid, okay? Never would be grid-tied ever, okay? Now, we have been here, started my 6th year in June, as anybody knows that watches the channel for any length of time. I have been off-grid the entire time. We have had some times that have sucked when it comes to power. We've had other times where things have been great when it comes to power. We put in that new solar rack last year, okay? Yes, it costs money, but it's an investment like anything else, and once we get things tweaked in the way we want it, and does it pay for itself? Yes, it does, because you know what? Everything that you see as far as what we have is paid for. We don't owe anybody on it, okay? I'm not going through some fly-by-night, solar company and having my stuff put up there, and then if something goes wrong and I call them, that they're not going to be available to fix it, or they're out of business already, or whatever the case may be. We've done this on our own. Yeah, trial and error, absolutely trial and error. But you know what? We've learned all along the way what works, what doesn't work, and where we're going to go with it, okay? I highly, highly, highly recommend that you have some way to have either backup solar or have some kind of solar in your house wired into, even if it's just one room of your house that you can utilize, okay? Learn what works, learn what doesn't work. That is the best way to ever figure anything out. If you try to just do it at the end of the time when SHTF happens and, oh God, now I need my solar, let's see if the batteries are still good, let's see if the components are working, oh God, I needed this and didn't know I needed that. Well, now you're not going to get what you need anymore, because it's all going to be gone, okay? Those are the things that I'm talking about. Learn what you need to learn now. Have what you have. Learn by trial and error. That is the very best way to learn. And yeah, I'm trying to add more power to be able to accommodate, their place, my place. Eventually have power for the chicken coop. Have power for my sister's storage shed. Yeah, I want to have all those things. But again, and the greenhouse on top of it as well. Okay? So, trial and error. Learn what works, learn what doesn't work. But it will come together. We will get it figured out. And when we get it dialed in, like I said, I will always share with you guys the pros and the cons, the positives and the negatives. Right now, we've had a glitch. We've had about 5 days where it's been sketchy with the power, okay? And, we've had to run the generator a little bit more to recharge the batteries because there's an issue. But again, we're going to fix it, okay? We're going to get it taken care of. And that's the best way that you learn. It really is. It really, truly is. But anyway, our power system, our regular power grid is very antiquated. It's very fragile. If they try to do a coordinated attack and went after the grid, it would put this country in extreme danger, okay? From the people in general, just from the people, not having power that they're used to having 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without interruptions, without thinking about it, when they just walk over and flip the switch and everything works because it's always worked, unless there's a big storm and they're out of power for whatever period of time. Anybody that has ever experienced any length of time without power knows exactly what I'm talking about. We all have. Everybody out here, everybody watching this channel, at some point your power's gone out in your home if you were on grid. Okay? Somebody hits a telephone pole with a transformer on it, knocks the power out to a neighborhood, maybe you're out of power for 12 hours, they get it fixed and it's back up, okay? Well, in a post-event, there's nobody coming to fix anything. Nobody's coming. Nobody's going to be there to help. Not in any kind of length of time that you think is reasonable. So you need to think about those things. If you have devices, BiPAP machine or anything like that, that you need to have, you know, those are other things you need to think about. How am I going to continue to run my oxygen machine, my nebulizer? How am I going to run my BiPAP machine? So those are things that need to be taken into consideration. You don't have to put in a bigger system like I have. You don't have to. You could do something that's going to work for your needs and do that. So again, I wanted to talk about this because I think it's really hugely important. Going off grid and having your own system and having your own power, I think is a huge thing. It makes you a lot more independent than the average person, because if this power grid that we all are relying on goes down, a lot of people are going to be screwed big time. And people like myself that have independent systems, we're going to be sitting in the catbird seat, as they call it. I don't know why that is the term, the catbird seat, but I remember that term. You know, but that's where we're going to be. We're going to be in good shape, and we're still going to have power. Now, will we have people coming and looking to charge devices up and stuff like that? Of course we will, okay? But I want to be in a position where I go, yeah, man, go ahead, plug in your power tools, plug in your backup battery stuff so that you can run things and you can do things. I want to be in that position, okay? Again, I want to help. That's what my whole goal is with everything that I do. It is about helping. It's about teaching. It's about learning. But I'm going to tell you what. Learn, learn, learn. Learn from my mistakes, because I make plenty. I will be the first to admit that I make plenty. But again, I didn't have to tell you guys that I was having issues with my power. I didn't have to tell you that at all. But I think it's important that I did, because that's how we all learn, okay? So we're, you know, my electrician is coming tomorrow, and we're going to get things switched over, and we're going to try to figure out if that's the issue, which we believe that that is the issue, is the charge controllers and the inverter. To a system that is designed for lithium-ion batteries, and we'll figure it out. Hopefully that'll be the end of the problem. I don't want to have issues, especially going into, you know, we're in August, we'll be in fall before we know it, and you know, then when winter gets here, we get a lot less sunshine up here. So I want this system to be running efficiently and ready to rock and roll when the winter gets here, because when we plan our solar systems up here, you don't plan for summer, you plan for winter. So anyway, so I wanted to go over this with you guys. I think it's really important. You know, I get people will say, oh, it's so much easier just to be on grid. You know what? You stay on grid. See how that works out for you in the long run. You know what? I would rather have to deal with a few headaches, a few frustrations, learning as I go, figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And when the time comes, when the rest of the system goes down and I still have power, let me hear what you got to say then. Okay, so anyway, guys, I wanted to share that with you. I want to get your feedback on this. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So please, you know, like, comment, share this video. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. Again, that thumbs up, it's interaction. It really does help with the algorithm. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it, and thank you. Also, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That is really important to remember. A lot of people don't think we are, but we really truly are. We're one big family. It's called the human race. And we need to be watching out for each other, not the governments that are trying to control everything that we do and say in our actions, okay? Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Also remember, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time. Yeah, did I say that wrong? I did. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. I don't know. Just it's late. Sorry. Step, thing, and day. As long as you follow that mantra, the only person that can hold you back in life is you. Nobody else can hold you back. Okay. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from negative people, and you're going to be fine. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.